Hello and welcome to Fiction Fans, a podcast where we read books and other words too. I'm Lily.
And I'm Sarah, and today we're re-releasing an episode that we recorded when we first started the podcast.
So we won't be doing our quick 5-minute intro this time.
During the first year of the podcast, we combined 2 book conversations into each episode, along with some related segments like Pet Peeve Corner and Words Are Weird.
We decided to republish those conversations as separate episodes to give those books a better chance to shine.
These have been slightly remastered, but you can still enjoy our peak 2021 microphone technology.
If you want to listen to the original double feature, these are episodes 2 through 23 in our podcast feed.
And as always, come disagree with us.
So, the book that we both read for this episode, The Prey of Gods by Nicky Drayden. I feel like I should mention that, and this is all coincidence, we did not plan this. It is just that we have very lucky timing. She does have a new book that just came out, Escaping Exodus Symbiosis, which came out on February 23rd. It's the sequel to Escaping Exodus, I believe. We are not talking about either of those 2 books, but I felt that it warranted mentioning.
Absolutely. And considering how much fun this book was.
Like, I want to go out and buy, both of those books because I really enjoyed The Prey of Gods.
Me too. It was so much fun, which I feel like is so different from the book we read last episode, which was very good, but very, harrowing.
Yes. This was definitely a me kind of book in that it dealt with, it dealt with some big themes too. And there was a lot of death in it, but it was upbeat. It was funny. I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, so good. There are some books where you read the back of it and you just think, what were they, who wrote this? What were they thinking?
Right. This has no relationship whatsoever to the book that I just read.
Yeah. But I actually think that the summary on the back of this book captures it very well. I know we just talked about how the back of the book is a very accurate representation of this book. Don't read it. Don't read the back of the book, I should say. Just go straight, just read the novel. It's so quick. It's like, what, 375 pages of 20-point font? Like, it goes so fast.
It does go very quickly. I disagree. I think that you should read, I think that if you were interested in this book after our discussion, the non-spoilery bits of the discussion, I think absolutely you can read the back of the book, but you should still read the book.
I had such a fun time discovering these things that were apparently on the back the whole time.
That's the thing. I did read the back of the book. I'm the one who chose the book, so I read the summary, but they still came as not necessarily a surprise, but kind of a surprise. Like, I wasn't expecting them to show up when they do. Like, all of those points there, I wasn't expecting to show up when they do. And so it still felt new and fresh.
Yes, absolutely. The first half is mostly setting the scene. This book takes place in I'll call it a near future South Africa.
Well, it takes place in the 2060s, I think.
That's the near future.
Yeah, so 40 years from now.
Yeah. It's pretty similar to today. The technology's a little bit more advanced, but it's not like Star Trek.
Right. They have adorable personal robots that I want one.
Yes, the Alfies.
The Alfies.
You know that old internet history YouTube video of the lady crying because she just wants to hug every cat and she knows she can't hug every cat and she thinks about all the cats that she can't hug?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
That was me sobbing about all of the Alfies in this book and how I want to hug every Alfie.
Yes.
And I just think about all the Alfies that no one is hugging, and I could be the one hugging them, but I'm not.
They reminded me of pugs. I mean, maybe that's just because I'm a pug person.
I think it's because you're a pug person.
Yes.
But they're so sweet, which, I mean, is sort of a hilarious thing in and of itself to say because they are
robots.
There's basically smartphones.
Right.
But with arms. For the most part. But we see them develop, or some of them develop. Some of the main characters are Alfies. This book does jump around with characters. There's a cast of maybe 5 POV characters, maybe fewer, like 4 or 5, right? And one of them is the Alfie of one of the other main characters. And so we actually get to see their like internal monologue, except it's a robot, so it's not exactly a monologue.
But it's really interesting. I mean, it's interesting to see how that develops over the course of the book and how it gets more of an individual monologue than it has in the beginning.
And it's frankly hilarious to see an interpretation of the scene we just read from the perspective of a 16-year-old boy as interpreted by
his Alfie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's great. Oh
it's
my
wonderful.
God.
It is so good.
They're so charming.
They are.
All of the characters are so very complicated, so very human, even if the character isn't necessarily human, in a way that is just so fun to read.
Yeah, they have a lot of depth to them. And
so much,
even the villain, I think it's really interesting, and I'm stealing your talking point here.
Go for it.
But the villain, you don't realize that she is the villain until about a third of the way through the book. And because of the way in which she's introduced, she comes off initially as a very relatable character.
Extremely, yeah. I loved her.
Yeah,
I mean, I loved her the whole time, but is saying it's a she spoiler?
No, because you know that there's an ancient demigoddess hellbent on regaining her former status.
See, but I don't even interpret that as, like, I don't even want to say that that's the bad guy, because that could just be a quirky, like...
By preying on the blood and sweat, but mostly blood, of every human she encounters.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's probably a little sketch.
Little bit.
If it's on the back of the book, it's not a spoiler, right?
That's the rule. It's not a spoiler.
All right.
I think that one is entirely fair game.
Okay, I clearly did not read the back of the book before I read this book.
Well, I was the one who chose it, so
yeah,
it makes sense that you didn't bother to read the back of the book.
I do this, like, I don't watch trailers either. If I'm gonna watch a movie, I'm gonna watch it. And okay, I'll say, like, I did not know that character was an antagonist. I did not even know until, like you said, about a third or halfway through the book.
Yeah, when it's revealed that she's the demigoddess or a demigoddess, I started to think, okay, she's probably not the sympathetic character that I thought she was. And then I think pretty shortly thereafter, she starts doing some bad stuff. So then it became very clear. But
well, she does not nice stuff pretty early on, but it's like novel, not nice stuff. So you're like, that's all right.
It's also, she's working as a downtrodden customer service, like in a customer service position. And the stuff that she's doing is maybe not hugely nice, but it's also like, yeah, you're just scraping by and you're doing what you have to in order to like pay your bills.
Oh, we might have to move this to the spoilery section, but I did not catch on that she was the bad guy even when she started murdering people. I thought that was just a personality quirk.
I mean, I don't think, again, because of what's on the back of the book, I don't think that's particularly spoilery.
Okay.
They do talk about the, blood and sweat, but mostly blood.
It took me, maybe I should be embarrassed for how long it took me to realize that she was the bad guy. But
that's the thing, like, she's still painted in a very sympathetic light for even when she starts doing very visibly bad stuff, because we're seeing things from her perspective, she still comes off as mostly sympathetic until you get to a certain point.
She's also not the only character that kills people.
That's true. Unrelated to the content of the book, I do want to talk about the 2 notes that I wrote for this book.
Oh, yes. What notes did you write? I wrote some notes too.
I think your notes are going to be much better than mine. My 2 notes were, 1, we used to have 2 taxidermy dik-tiks at my former place of employment. Dik-tiks being a type of small antelope, I believe.
Really small, though. They're like...
really, really tiny.
I'm still going to say cat-sized. They're like cat-sized.
Yeah, they're cat-sized or small dog-sized. And we had 2 taxidermy dik-tiks at my former place of employment. And I really wanted to buy them because they were super cute, but they were also like $800. So no.
It's a little pricey for something really cute.
It's a little pricey for a piece of taxidermy that I don't actually know where I would put it.
That's relevant because in this near future South Africa, they're dealing with a dik-dik
Infestation.
yeah, that's the right word. Infestation.
Yeah, the dik-diks are everywhere.
Mhm.
And then my other note was that, so we just talked about how evil, but we love her anyway. And she has a coffee table that she uses as a torture device, but it sounds really awesome, and I kind of want it for my living room. I have the quote that she gives to describe her coffee table. At the table's base is an ancient slab of ebony wood with thick iron spikes jutting up in a simple yet pleasing checker pattern. Suspend a man over it, and it becomes an effective torture device, breeding fear by the bushel. Top it with a nice piece of beveled glass, toss in a couple of coasters, and ta-da! Perfect place to rest a drink or TV dinner. And like, that just sounds like an amazing coffee table. Like, it would be so architectural. I want it.
It sure would be a statement piece.
It would be a statement piece. I don't want to torture people over it. I would keep the glass on, but it just sounds really cool.
Not that exact piece, but one of my bookmarks was also for because this book was written in the very close third person point of view, which I have discussed at length how annoyed I get by first person. But close third person is my jam. Give me all of the bias, but let me pretend it's someone else saying it. I cannot explain why I am that way. I do not know why I am the way I am, but I just think, especially for a humorous book like this,
it really worked. The format really works for this book.
it
Yeah.
works so well. I love that close third person where the narrator is so clearly telling you exactly what they think and feel.
Mm-hmm. There's a pretend gap between you and the narrator.
And that just makes everything just a little bit funnier to me. Maybe it's just how I like my humor books, because the first person book we read last episode I liked.
It's not humorous.
Right, so maybe that's the thing. Although I feel like Lord of the Rings is sort of, it's not as close third person as this, but it's also a very, very close third person, a very characterized narrator, right?
Right.
That's just what I like, and this book delivers it 100%.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we decided to read this book because it was so worth it.
Absolutely.
This episode of Fiction Fans is brought to you by Solsticia.
That's our zine. Each issue has a different theme that celebrates genre and genre blending in a new way.
PDF and EPUB versions can be purchased on our website, and Patreon supporters of all levels get free digital copies.
You can find all the issues and more at patreon.com/fictionfanspod. Thank you for all of your support.
The remainder of this episode contains spoilers.
So apparently some of my opinions were slingshotting back and forth because I did not read the back of the book and had no idea what was going on. But reading this book as a blank slate, my opinions of the characters were so fluid in such a satisfying way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the very first character is Muzi, the 16-year-old boy. And right, I think he's the first point of view. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And I mean, I was about to say something real mean about 16-year-old boys. I won't. Oh, his friend Elkin is not a point of view character, but one of the, I would say, main characters in the story. And
he's definitely a main supporting character.
yeah. And you just, as you learn more about him, or at least as I did, my opinion of him fluctuated so much.
Yes.
All over the place.
Yes.
Every section that he was in, I was flip-flopping. Just, it was like a seismograph. It was wild. But it was fantastic. And it wasn't because he was acting out of character. It was because I was learning new things about his character. We did pick another book with sexual assault in it.
We did. Accidentally.
Well, of course, accidentally.
Obviously. Yeah.
It's not nearly as graphic. It's really just mentioned, but I do think it's worth just saying, like, hey, that is something that happens in this book.
Yeah, because it's being told from Nomvula's point of view, it feels very, like, present when it's happening.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about her. I was talking about her mom.
Oh, yeah. I mean, her mom definitely, like, that's not shown in the book. That's just told.
Right.
But she almost gets raped, which, like, I was not expecting. And that was obviously not as graphic as Hoover's death, but it was still quite, like, there.
It is extremely upsetting.
Yeah.
It was because it's from Nomvula's point. Nomvula?
I'm saying Nomvula. That's how I would default to pronounce it.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's correct or not.
Part of how horrifying it is because it's from Nomvula's point of view. And she's what, 11, 10? She's extremely young.
She's quite young. Yeah.
And so she clearly doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So the narration is very, it honestly reminded me of Lolita.
I haven't read Lolita, so
that's fine. But the narrator describing something in a certain way and then you slowly realizing, oh, that is not what's actually happening right now. And that sort of dawning dread in your soul was similar.
Yeah.
I would not compare this book to Lolita in any way except for that. So why should someone read this book?
Because it is funny, has cute robots, and compelling characters.
It's also very sweet.
It is very sweet. I'm not usually a huge fan of, like, sweet things.
I know. I'm the sweet tooth between the two of us, and it shows.
In food and in a book taste.
Yes.
But it is a very sweet book. There's a lot of, I mean, there's good romance, not really hugely prevalent, but like as sort of underpinning the story. But there's also just good platonic relationships between all of the characters. And like Muzi and his Alfie.
We haven't talked about Stoker at all.
Stoker is wonderful. I mean, it's rare that I read a book and I like all of the main point of view characters as much as I liked all of the main point of view characters in this book.
It's true. Like you said, I also loved all of the characters, but I think Stoker and Rhea were the two that I felt were basically blameless.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? At least once.
Yes.
Whereas those two, I'm like, you were clearly trying your best at every moment.
Yeah. I think what I like best about Rhea and Stoker is how, as you learn more about, like, they're not perfect people, but as you learn more about them, you see that they're doing the best they can with what they have to work with.
They're also a very good pair to discuss because they were both being exploited in similar but different ways.
Yeah.
Right? Because Rhea is a pop star, which I don't have to explain to you how that's inherently exploitative. And Stoker is a politician, like being exploited by their parents. So Stoker's last name, which is why I feel okay referring to the character that way. But she does transition into Felicity partway through the book. And
I think that because she ends the book as Felicity, and Felicity is clearly like who she wants to be, I think that we should respect that and call her.
Okay. I agree. I didn't want to do that in the non-spoilery parts though.
Right.
Because that is like that's such a huge moment for her.
It is, especially because she starts out not necessarily wanting to make that transition or not feeling comfortable to make that transition. Right. So as you see that progress, you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Like, I want this for you.
And the way she just like gives 2 middle fingers to her parents was just like, yeah, girl, you.
Yes. I marked a quote about her transition, if I can find it. There is, unrelated to Stoker, there is a quote that the Alfie says about another Alfie, that sneaky, no good son of a bit, which I really liked.
I did love that.
I thought that was just very, very clever.
This book is hilarious.
It's so funny. Like, I was laughing the entire time.
But not in like a slapstick jokey way.
Okay, I don't think, somehow I didn't mark it, but it was about how she saw a picture of herself in a dress and was struck by like how happy she looked. And that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of the turning point for where she realizes, oh, I am Felicity. That's not just who I am pretending to be some of the time. But I thought it was just a really human, moving moment.
Yeah.
And I liked it. It stuck with me.
And it made me so, like you said, just so happy.
Yeah.
Like you really celebrate their triumphs, even the like quiet internal ones.
Exactly. And like when she finds the strength to step up to her mother and say, no, this is who I am, I'm like, yes, you go.
Yes. And I really love that her mother then turns around and goes, well, all right. It's like she clearly wasn't a super supportive mom.
Right.
Like there's some fucked up shit going on there.
There are definitely issues there, but she comes through when it counts.
Yeah. Well, she absolutely does. And
yes.
And I feel like part of her was maybe waiting for Felicity to say, like, this is the line in the sand, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
That probably gives the mother too much benefit of the doubt. But I get the impression that as soon as Felicity stood up for herself, her mother was like, okay, you're running the show now. I pass on the baton, right? Like, because before she was clearly
the one in
charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am such a sucker for the belief gives you power trope.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's a trope. The only place that, and maybe this is just because I'm not very well read in this particular aspect, but the only other place that I can recall seeing it is in Discworld and Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, it's very, very thematic in Discworld.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole book about it in Discworld.
Yeah. At least, I think there's more than one. I mean, there's, but that's definitely how that world operates.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a particular thing for me, but I really enjoy that system where the more belief that exists, the more power a person has. I think this book takes it a step further because Nicky also incorporates fear also giving power.
But not as much.
Not as much. Sydney, who we ultimately find out is the bad guy, she lies to Nomvula at some point.
I mean, she certainly hides the fact that she wants to kill Nomvula for quite some time. And because Nomvula is a very young girl, she doesn't cotton on to the fact that actually her big sister Sydney is not quite as...
I thought Nomvula was suspicious of her.
No, she's suspicious, but she has this whole point where she's like, I know Sydney's not great, but she's better than what I had, and if I'm just a little bit better, like, she'll love me and we'll be family.
Yes.
She's not, whereas Sydney from the very beginning is thinking, I'm gonna kill this little girl.
Right. She definitely like knows that Sydney is lying to her, but she thinks that there's a possibility.
Yes. And she doesn't imagine that Sydney will go so far as to actually attempt to murder her.
Maybe not.
Definitely not.
I mean, she's definitely afraid of her, but
she's afraid, but she doesn't think that she's going to murder her until Sydney is literally saying, like, I'm going to come back here so I can kill you.
Okay, fair enough.
One of the things that I really liked about this book was how everything was interconnected.
Oh, so well too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It all fits together really seamlessly. And this is also evident in how all of these background characters that really only show up once or twice end up all being part of like the same family. Like they all weave into the plot. And I think it's really interesting how that happens.
So I mentioned when we first talked about reading this book that I was like, oh, then I'll read some Asimov because this gives like the technology, the robots becoming people, which we haven't even talked about yet.
We haven't even talked about it. There's so much to talk about this book.
But originally I thought like, oh, I'll read some Isaac Asimov because this is like just the concept of robots gaining sentience. I made that leap. I made that connection. But the more of this I read, I actually felt like it had more in common thematically with Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which, as we all know, is the OG science fiction. And in the same way that this reminded me of Isaac Asimov's work, what the original science fiction was exploring the definition of humanity and where those definitions blur.
Which this book does very, very well.
Absolutely. Oh my God. From both sides, which is why I wanted to bring in the robots, because on one end, we get the blurring of humanity between what's the difference between a human and a god? Like a handful of believers and a dictic virus. But then, what is the difference between a robot and a human is just like a quirk of code, basically.
Well, and that's also further complicated by the fact that at the end of the book, we end up with Muzi's consciousness in an Alfie.
This book is full of good characters doing understandably bad things.
Yes.
Because we were talking about, Muzi is not a great not even partner. They don't even know if they're boyfriends or not until literally the last chapter of the book.
By the very end of the book, they have decided that they are boyfriends.
In one chapter, Elkin is like, he's not my friend, he's I don't know. And then Muzi becomes a mech suit, a giant robot that Elkin drives, and he's like, I have the best boyfriend ever. And that's another part in the book where I had to stop and cheer for the characters because I was so happy for them.
Mm-hmm. I love how they go from sort of figuring out, oh, we're friends maybe with benefits, to actually we really like and care about each other and would sacrifice quite a lot for the other, and we're boyfriends now.
Yeah, it's just that
it's a great progression.
That growth.
Yeah.
Yes. But also it's not frustrating because you understand why they're confused,
Mhm.
and it's not one of those things where you're like, just talk to each other. What's wrong with
Yes.
you?
The issues that they have with each other are not something that could necessarily be worked out just by like having one conversation.
And it's compounded by the fact that Muzi is discovering his god powers at the same
Mhm.
time, where he can control people in their memories, and he uses that against Elkin, which is not okay. But Elkin says that, and Muzi is very upfront with like that he knows he's doing something wrong when he does it, and I appreciate that about this book very much.
None of the characters think that they're doing the right thing when they're not.
I love how Nomvula's power at the end comes from all of the Alfies believing in her. Speaking of how everything clicks together, like that was so it's like a perfect full circle, right? The Alfies gain humanity, the humans gain godhood, and it's the Alfies that believe in the humans, the human Nomvula. Although the true full circle, we haven't talked about Rhea very much, which is I don't think we're gonna have time to, but that's a damn shame because she's fantastic.
She is really good.
Like I said,
everyone is really good, but she is really good.
I feel like we talked about the characters that we had more complicated feelings towards more because that's more interesting. But Rhea and Felicity,
when we're introduced to her, is a sort of unhappy politician in that she doesn't really want to go into politics. She wants to be a pop star. And I love the progression but she wants to help people more than anything. And I love the progression from unhappy politician to Felicity as politician who is going to run for president. Like, I think that is a great circle in and of itself.
Oh, it was such a good character progression.
Yeah.
She wasn't unhappy because she was a politician. She was unhappy because she couldn't be Felicity.
Yes.
But she didn't really understand that at the time. And so her stepping up during the chaos at the climax, Sydney is fighting the whole country or whatever with the monsters. It's good. I'm just not going to go into it. Do you know what I have 0% problem with,
What?
but also did not see coming at all? That's not even the right way to say it. I don't have zero, like, I have no problem with it plot-wise. I love it. I didn't even know I was supposed to be rooting for it until it happened. Rhea raising Nomvula.
Yeah.
When the book ended that way, with Nomvula
Mhm.
talking about her new mom, and like she had a nightmare and like mom took care of her, I was like
Yes. Yes. I love that aspect of the ending.
because both of these sweet, sweet girls went through such garbage in very different ways. And Nomvula has like finally has a any human being, not even human, like any creature who is like truly out for her best interests for the first time.
She finally has a proper family, which is something that she really like I have wanted for her from the very beginning of the book, basically.
Like she's been struggling through so much garbage.
Mhm.
But I didn't realize how happy I would be with Rhea taking time off to be a mother.
Mhm.
When that line was first dropped in someone else's perspective, I think it was Moosey's, and I was like, "Oh, did Rife get her pregnant? Like what?"
Yeah, that is what I thought.
Yeah.
That is what I thought, that she had a kid, and I was like, "Oh, that's moving really fast."
Yeah, or that she had been pregnant the whole time and you
Yeah.
didn't know, and it's just like, "Oh, I don't oh."
And then you discover that it's Nomvula, and you're like, "Oh yes, I support this."
Yes, so much.
But I also love the very hint at the end that the troubles are not over.
The Prey of Gods by Nicky Drayden not only creates a rich world with both magic and technology in a very fun sort of competition with not even competition with each other, just in a very fun interaction with each other.
Yeah, I think coexistence.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to see these things just sort of, they both exist.
Mhm.
And there's not really any more mention made of it.
Yeah.
It just is.
And so that world is absolutely fun to read about.
Mhm.
And then, as I think you mentioned, every single character is so complex. Not complicated is dramatic. They're all so complex with so many ups and downs, and you rip your hair out when they make a bad decision, but you cheer with every success that they have. And it is just so much fun and so rewarding. I would say absolutely read this book if you're into sci-fi. It's also very thoughtful. So any of you secret philosophy like buffs, read this book. It'll be worth it.
Yeah. I am going to leave you with a quote from Rhea. Maybe not the most descriptive quote of the book, but I like it. The edges of Rhea Natrejan's lips spread, pulling slightly upward, and not even because she's forcing them. Oh, hell no. She's not about to be happy. Happy doesn't pay the bills. It's all angst and melodrama and attitude. She turns that near smile into a snarl.
I love Rhea.
I love her. I
love
had
her.
to quote her. I had to.
Sarah.
Yes, Lily?
Words are so weird.
Tell me how words are weird.
I understand that this is a personal problem, but I cannot, for the life of me, spell research. I don't think I have ever written, like, handwritten the word research and spelled it correctly, ever in my entire life. When I'm typing it, obviously, I get the red squiggle and I go, oh yeah, that's wrong. Or when I'm proofreading and I'm thinking about it, I can say, oh yeah, that's wrong. Because intellectually, I know that this word is spelled Research.
I like how you had to think about that.
I
for a
really
minute.
did. But that's the thing. If I think about it, I can spell it right. But my instinct is every single time Reaserch. And I realize that this is not great podcast content because I'm just throwing letters at you. But please just for a moment, everyone, close your eyes and think with me. Research. REA. Search. SERCH. Doesn't that feel better to you?
No. No.
It does, though. Why is search spelled S-E-A-R-C-H? That's dumb.
I mean, I couldn't tell you why search is spelled S-E-R.
Yeah, I got you. I've infected you now.
You have infected me. I couldn't tell you why search is spelled with an A, but like I have never once thought research should switch the position of that A.
Words are weird.
Words are weird. This is very true.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Fiction Fans.
Come disagree with us. We're on Blue Sky and Instagram at FictionFansPod. You can also email us at fictionfanspod@gmail.com or leave a comment on YouTube.
If you enjoyed the episode, please rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and follow us wherever your podcasts live.
We also have a Patreon where you can support us and find exclusive episodes and a lot of other nonsense.
Thanks again for listening, and may your villains always be defeated.
Bye!